I just had this conversation with my wife, like when we were younger, how we would lie to portray ourselves a particular way. Now, how many times in your life have you done this? If you have a situation where you have done this, think about it, because I had one where I was a particular age and I would tell a story to like be portrayed as a particular person, but I wasn't even like, because I felt like I wasn't enough, because I felt I didn't have the confidence, I wasn't good enough. That's why I did those things. It's not per se a malicious lie with a bad intention. It's just a lie to kind of fill some type of void or lack that you don't have. So, for example, I felt like I'm not interesting enough. You know, I'm this chubby kid, and like, you know, there was this other guy, and the females, even the guys, they wanted to be friends with him, but not with me. So I told a story that like it's completely false. Like it's a ridiculous story. And I said, yeah, that's my life. Like that's me, man. Just to be more interesting. Just to feel more accepted and more like I'm someone cool, I'm someone interesting, I'm someone unique. But in reality, why was I doing those things? And I mean, I know why I was doing those things, but I'm just saying, why did I have to do those things? Didn't have to. I could have just been myself. I could have just said, this is me, this is my life, and I could have breathed, because it felt like keeping up this particular thing or saying this certain thing. Luckily, it was strangers, so I never saw them again in my life. But keeping up at that time, making up that thing and trying to be that person, it just made me close off more, because it wasn't the real me. You didn't get to see my real side. You just got to see this version, this fake story of which I'm sharing with you. And my wife was saying the same experience in her life, where she told a particular story and she had to keep it up, like keep it up, keep up that thing, because otherwise people like question. You know, kids can be quite observant and, you know, quite good at recognizing particular stories and fallacies and stuff. They'll be like, wait, but you said that. You know, they always say the kid talks the truth. You know, a child always talks the truth. You know, they'll say like, whoa, why is that like that? You said this, now it's like this. You know what I mean? They'll question it. They'll say it out loud. That's what kids do. So when you caught up in that thing and you need to constantly like make the story like, oh yeah, like it's like this, you know. And what I'm trying to get to here is that it's funny how we even do this as adults, because we're closing ourselves off by doing that, and we're closing ourselves off because we feel like we're lacking, so we are portraying a different image. Like I'm portraying this thing that I am, I'm being this identity just so I can feel good in myself, so I can feel good and be accepted by the people, be accepted perhaps in the social situation or the group I'm part of, when I could have just been myself, man. I could have just been myself. You know what, taking a few deep breaths and like it's so much more easy being yourself than being something that you're not, or pretending to be something that you're not, setting up a story that you are someone that you're not. It's like you remove this weight of your chest of having to be this thing that you are not. It's so much freeing. It's such a great feeling of liberation and joy and peace and true content and satisfaction with yourself. Like, this is me, and that's my story, and this is it. And it's like, man, it's just a relief. And I realized for so many years as a young boy, as a young teen boy, that I wasn't experiencing that relief, because I just was always hiding myself with something. Like, yeah, I'm this person, I do this, I do that. And even as I've come into my 20s, I'm 25 now, but even as I come into my 20s, I was doing that same thing. You know, like, yeah, I'm this guy. Like, I'm this guy. Like, yeah, I've done X, Y, and Z, and you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm that guy, you know, in that particular way. And I live that life. You know, I live that particular life. And it's funny how the stories you then tell, especially when you're older, you can actually do it. So if you say like, yo, I'm this big bad boy, like you can actually go do bad things and be this bad man, you know, be this, I'm him. Like anyone that confronts me, like they get knocked out, for example, right? So you can actually do that, and you could actually really live the reputation of the story that you make up. Like you can actually go and do those things. But you're gonna close yourself off, and you think like, man, why did I do that? Why wasn't I just myself from the get-go? Why did I have to tell this thing and be this person, and now I need to perhaps prove it or keep up the story or keep up the lie or keep up the facade? I always need to go, before I go out the house, I gotta put on the mask. Like when you don't live your life like that and you just live it freely, it's like, oh, it's a feeling of relief and liberation. Coming older, I'm happy that I realized that, and I'm happy that I did that, because otherwise, bro, I think I just would have been, I just would have exited the game, man. Just straight off the bat, because it's so unfulfilling, it's so unsatisfactory, and it's just an empty life to live, and you can never really breathe. You can't really like go outside the house without putting on the mask. Like, whoop, got to put my mask on. But when you start stepping out the house, and I mean metaphorically, but when you start going outside and seeing the world and talking to people and having these experiences and just being yourself and bringing yourself to the experience, and not bringing the character or the facade to the experience, just bring yourself to the experience. It's so much more lived, and you can actually have this presence. You can actually be so present in that moment, because you're not thinking about the story or the facade that you need to keep up in this situation. So that's been my experience with that. Have a good day. If you relate to that, let me know in the comments, and peace out.